person in this entire loop. And that's strange because this is the long weekend here coming up, and I would expect some people to have at least booked a site here and come out a day earlier. So, anyhow, I'm just using household stuff today, no gear at all. And we're going to truly push the boundaries and explore the limits of just how little you truly need to go camping. The only thing even closely resembling gear is just some mosquito coils. The rest of it's all just out of the house. So, I take the old chair from my entranceway. I'll set this up. And we got a bunch of other stuff that's just stuff you have laying around your house. Now, my house has a lot more camping stuff than most people's houses, but I'm going with what most people would have in their house or on their patio, etc. So let's go camping. I've got this little beach lounger thing, and you know, if it's good enough to lay back and fall asleep on the beach, it'll surely do just fine in a camping situation. And okay, yeah, bed set up and good to go. Now I just gotta cover it with something in case it rains. So just rip the shower curtain off your shower and bring this with you. That should do just fine. You're gonna put up a string and then just throw it over top. It doesn't offer much privacy, obviously, but when the sun goes down, nobody will see anyhow. Good. Better tighten up my string here. I've seen a lot of tents in my life, and this is a pretty sorry looking contraption here. That'll work out okay. Tied up nice and secure, and then I'll burn a cluster knot, and that should not go anywhere, aside from the fact that the trees are so tiny and springy. But this setup here is probably pushing it for this park. This is a provincial park, and there's nobody around, so I'll probably get away with this, but they don't like to see weird stuff. They allow tents, and that's saying something, because a lot of RV sites and campgrounds won't even allow tents. They want RVs, not just that, the RVs have to be of a certain age, so like nothing older than 10 years. So clearly this would not fly in one of those situations. But I'm just kind of doing this to show what can be done with what's already probably in your house. And there are some mosquitoes out here, so I'm going to fire up those mosquito coils, and I'll show you a little trick with those too. Usually with these things, they have these little stems. They're super hard to separate without breaking them. But maybe I'll be able to do that. I think we're getting somewhere here. Now we're talking. Yeah. Okay. Usually you stick these on this little thing and you light it and it burns. And that's all fine and good. What I like to do is I'll put down some aluminum foil, and I light both sides so that they burn towards each other, like burning a candle at both ends. And that gives you double the mosquito killing power per coil. I do have my beloved thermocell at home, because that bore a little too much of a resemblance to gear, and we're doing strictly with kind of what you might have kicking around at home. Now, I let these things puff away for a bit, and then kill these bugs off, and I'll reinforce the sleeping structure here a little, because there's no wind now, but if the wind comes up, we're done for. So that was certainly exhausting, setting all that up. And that was step one. Step two, because we're having no gear, so it's not even a cooler, it's just a plastic bag full of ice. Just purely pushing the limits of how little I can actually bring for a conventional in the campground camping trip. So yeah, I actually ran into a subscriber in town the other day who purchased these for me. So thank you, Renee, for that. And we'll get to all you other people later when we're having some dinner. And thank you guys all so much. But yeah, these coils are starting to do their trick. I'm gonna have to relight the other side of one of them, but oh yeah, real beer for once, not the cheap stuff. She wouldn't let me get the cheap stuff. She says you have to have some good beer in one of the videos. So thanks again. Brought some firewood from home. I got a couple cords out there for heating the acreage over the winter, and I'm gonna tie this on here on the corners, and then the other end to the picnic table, and that'll hold this open and keep the dew off me tonight. Some campgrounds won't let you bring your own firewood. It's not the case here, so we're fortunate with that. No campgrounds around here pretty much at all actually let you wander into the woods and scavenge wood. They really frown on that. But the campgrounds you have may be different, I don't know.
La Marca Prosecco is made for special occasions.
Including pajama parties?
Find a moment to celebrate with America's favorite Italian Prosecco. Celebrate La Moment, La Marca.
Just using a rock on the one side and it'll make a little button thing. I saw Joe do this once. Alberta cluster knot it is. Oh yeah. Get a fire going here. Some briquette lighter from the porch should do the job. That'll make this tiger growl. But some people use kindling. You normally have enough garbage in your car from the drive out, coffee cups and whatever, that it's good to burn them up clean out. With the smaller pieces on there. Oh, there's a little one. Okay. Far safer option than gasoline. That's all I have to say about that. A few sprinkles of rain coming in, and I hope that blows over real soon, because this is not exactly a watertight structure by any stretch. And in a completely abandoned loop of this campground, campers had just pulled into the site right beside me. So that's Murphy's Law there. Completely empty site, and I got a neighbor. But that's okay, they seem friendly. They're pulling a tent trailer though. And if I hadn't voiced my thoughts about tent trailers before, I'm going to do that now. I think they're a horrible Frankenstein contraption that's got the worst of a tent and the worst of an RV combined all into one. You know, you got to set them up, and that takes a while. You got to reverse them into your sites. They don't really offer any protection from animals or bears. And I guess they're light, so you can tow them with a car. But that seems to be the only pro I can think of as far as a tent trailer goes. And it's mostly RVs around here. That's all I pretty much see. A tent is rare, and a hammock is even more rare. And this, I've never seen anything like this before in a campsite in my life. Just the old pan from the kitchen, that's all you need. Use a cheap one or a cast iron one. You don't want to wreck a wedding present or anything. That wouldn't go well, I'm guessing. Anyhow, I'll use a cheap beer in here. And I'm just doing one of my quick and dirty camping favorites. Smoked sausages, boiled in beer. It's not that creative and it's not that innovative, but I like the taste and you sure can't beat the convenience. And these are the cheddar cheese variety. Maybe I'll enjoy 3 with some mustard on a freshly baked bun. I just can't do that factory bread. It's got to be fresh baked the day of purchase. Oh yeah. Yeah, so those camping neighbors that pulled up, they're still setting up that tent trailer probably 45 minutes to an hour later. This thing took no time at all, and even the worst tent I've ever had took like half an hour, 45 to set up. That was the one I had in the video looking for Bigfoot. So tent trailers are not on my list of things. I think they can hear me talking about them. We're losing daylight power here very quickly, so gonna have something to eat. It looks like they finally got the tent trailer set up, so that's awesome. And the hallmark of a fresh baked bun is you can split it open without needing a knife and it doesn't crumble apart like a biscuit. Oh yes, I love it. I didn't bring a flashlight, of course, because that sounds dangerously close to camping gear to me. And this is a strictly household equipment only type of camping trip. So if I do need lights, I'll just flick the headlights on in the car, and then we can see what we're doing a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the beer makes it better. But I had a friend, we went camping, and he used the fresh baked buns I got as a pillow when he slept on the drive out in the back of the car. I was not happy when we got to the site. Got all the burgers made, ready to cut buns and get the toppings on. There's these little pancakes of what used to be buns. Oh, those who know me and my bread will know that was not a very happy trip for me. But yeah, it's pretty peaceful out here. There's still just that one other camper in the whole site. I don't think we're going to see anybody else until probably tomorrow when the weekend campers start to come in. This is truly the season of camping. Mosquitoes only operate in a very narrow temperature range, and we are outside that range right now. And I should be warm enough, and we'll see how that goes. Okay. So, a sleeping bag is not always necessary. You just have to strip the comforter off your marital bed and hope your spouse enjoys the rich, smoky aroma of a campfire when you get back home.
What's up? Good night, Playboy.